BYD just fired a shot heard around the entire U.S. auto industry, and it's going to leave a mark. The Chinese electric vehicle giant has unleashed massive, aggressive discounts on some of its most popular models, and automakers from Detroit to California are scrambling to respond. This isn't just a simple price drop. It's a full-blown strategic assault aimed at grabbing market share fast and shaking consumer loyalty right to its core. At the center of this price war, the BYD Seal, the Auto 3, and the Tang models that were already undercutting rivals on value, and now they've just become even more dangerously competitive. Reports confirm that BYD slashed prices by up to 20% in some markets, bringing high-tech EVs with cutting-edge range and features down into the territory of entry-level gasoline cars. Yes, you heard that right. BYD just turned the EV market upside down. This move isn't just bold, it's strategic. BYD sees the writing on the wall. With inventory piling up for American automakers and consumer demand shifting toward value, BYD is jumping in with timing so perfect, it's almost ruthless. Their discounted models are not stripped-down versions either. We're talking about vehicles with long range, advanced driver assistance systems, sleek interiors, and bold design, all now at prices that even the most budget-conscious U.S. buyer can't ignore. And here's where it really gets disruptive. BYD isn't just offering these discounts in China or limited global markets. They're targeting North America. While they still face regulatory and political roadblocks to full-scale entry into the U.S., BYD's expansion through Mexico, South America, and direct-to-consumer platforms is putting pressure on U.S. dealers. Some insiders are calling this the Tesla Playbook, but with more volume and lower prices. Tesla has long dominated headlines with price cuts, but even Elon Musk didn't see this coming. BYD's pricing undercuts Tesla's Model 3 and Model Y by thousands of dollars. And now American buyers are asking themselves, why pay more? Combine that with rising interest in hybrid options like BYD's DMI lineup, and suddenly the entire U.S. auto pricing structure looks unstable. Dealerships across the U.S. are already feeling the heat. Ford, GM, and Stellantis are being forced to slash their own EV prices or load up on incentives. Toyota and Honda, long seen as stable players, are now facing a dilemma: how to compete with a company that's willing to sacrifice short-term profit for long-term domination. BYD isn't playing for margins right now. They're playing for the future of mobility, and they're playing to win. And it doesn't stop at consumers. BYD's fleet sales are exploding. Municipalities, ride-share companies, and delivery services are turning to BYD vans, buses, and compact EVs at rates never seen before. Their cost per mile is lower, reliability is improving, and availability is far better than U.S. counterparts, who are still navigating chip shortages and manufacturing delays. This bombshell isn't just about cheaper cars, it's about a seismic shift in the global balance of power in the auto world. BYD's discount blitz is proving that the EV race won't be won with flashy marketing or legacy brands. It'll be won with pricing, reliability, speed of production, and scale. And BYD is hitting all four. And while the big U.S. automakers are holding emergency meetings behind closed doors, BYD is expanding its footprint with precision. The company just opened a massive new manufacturing facility in Mexico, capable of pumping out hundreds of thousands of vehicles a year, many of which are rumored to be headed for the U.S. through indirect channels or future partnerships. This plant is a clear signal. BYD isn't just testing the waters, it's building an invasion force. What's even more shocking? The quality. Early reviews from international markets show that BYD's discounted models aren't cutting corners. The interiors are loaded with tech, massive touchscreen displays, premium materials, and smart connectivity features that rival anything coming out of Silicon Valley. Safety scores, solid, efficiency, class-leading. And when you combine all that with a price tag that undercuts the competition by $5,000 to $10,000, it's not hard to see why American buyers are starting to look overseas. Industry analysts are calling this the BYD shockwave, and the ripple effects are already spreading. Shares of U.S. automakers took a hit as news of the discounts went viral. Supplier contracts are being reevaluated. Pricing strategies are being rewritten. Some executives are even questioning whether they can keep up if BYD brings its full lineup across the border and bypasses traditional dealership models altogether. And let's not forget the geopolitical angle. U.S. lawmakers are watching BYD's moves closely, with some pushing for new tariffs or import restrictions to slow the tide. But the truth is, technology knows no borders, and neither do market forces. Consumers want value, and BYD is offering it at a scale the U.S. market hasn't seen in decades. Meanwhile, Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid are caught in a trap. If they lower their prices to stay competitive, they risk margin collapse. If they hold prices steady, they lose market share. Legacy automakers like Ford and GM are pouring billions into EV development, but they can't match BYD's vertical integration. BYD builds its own batteries, chips, and even some of its own software, cutting costs and accelerating production in ways that make Western supply chains look sluggish by comparison. And this is just the beginning. BYD's next move is even more daring, launching new plug-in hybrids with gasoline range extenders, perfect for the U.S. market where charging infrastructure still lags. These DMI models offer over 1,000 kilometers, 620 plus miles of range on a single tank and charge, and they're being priced to undercut not just EVs but traditional gas vehicles as well. The pressure is mounting, and the U.S. auto industry is in a full-blown identity crisis. For decades, Detroit dictated the pace of innovation. Now the pace is being set in Shenzhen, and with BYD's war chest growing and its global ambitions expanding, this may only be the first wave in a much larger campaign. And while legacy automakers scramble to react, BYD is already 2 steps ahead, preparing to launch next-gen solid-state batteries that could completely eliminate range anxiety. That's right. Rumors are swirling that BYD will debut its solid-state tech in select models as early as next year, offering faster charging, greater safety, and even longer range, all while keeping prices brutally low. This isn't just disruption. This is dismantling the competition from the ground up. And here's the real kicker. BYD is profitable. Unlike some American EV startups that are burning cash just to survive, BYD is making money while undercutting the competition. How? Years of scaling in China, government support, smart vertical integration, and relentless engineering efficiency. They've mastered the EV game at home, and now they're exporting that playbook across the globe. Meanwhile, American consumers are catching on fast. Online forums, EV groups, and even Reddit threads are lighting up with discussions about BYD. People are comparing specs, reviewing range numbers, and most importantly, realizing that the old badge loyalty is fading. If a BYD car gives you more features, more range, and better tech for thousands less, why stay loyal to brands that haven't evolved? And it's not just individual buyers paying attention. Fleets and commercial operators are watching these price cuts with laser focus. Delivery services, ride-share operators, even government procurement departments. These groups live and die by cost per mile, and BYD's discounts are rewriting the economics of transportation. With lower upfront costs, reduced maintenance, and minimal fuel expenses, switching to BYD isn't a risk, it's a financial upgrade. But here's the twist that's got Wall Street buzzing. BYD's aggressive pricing may not be just about stealing market share. It might be about softening the ground for a future full-scale U.S. launch. Think about it. They drop prices globally, flood nearby markets like Mexico, get Americans talking. Then, once the demand and brand awareness are there, they partner with a U.S.-based distributor or quietly launch direct-to-consumer sales. It's a blueprint that's worked before. Just ask the Japanese and Korean automakers who quietly entered the U.S. decades ago and now dominate entire segments. So as the U.S. auto industry clings to outdated pricing structures and brand prestige, BYD is executing a cold, calculated takeover. One discount at a time, one model at a time. And the message couldn't be clearer. The EV future isn't coming. It's already here, and it's being driven by BYD. And now the ripple effects are beginning to shake even the most resilient corners of the industry. Auto dealers across the U.S. are starting to panic, not just because BYD is lowering prices, but because customers are walking in with questions they've never had to answer before. Why doesn't your EV have the same range as BYD's for $10,000 more? Why does this car cost more but offer less tech? The uncomfortable truth is setting in. The old sales pitch doesn't work anymore. Even leasing companies and financing institutions are taking a second look. Lower sticker prices mean lower monthly payments, and suddenly BYD vehicles are looking far more attractive to average Americans who are feeling the pressure of high interest rates and inflation. For working-class families trying to stretch every dollar, BYD just positioned itself as the most bang-for-your-buck option on the road, with no compromises in style, performance, or features. And this is where BYD's long game really shines. They aren't focused on luxury positioning like Lucid. They're not chasing hype cycles like Rivian.